Tata Martino needs to not be the coach for Mexico anymore. He should not be the coach for Mexico. It's evident that he's not the man for the job. Losing 2-0 to the US, losing 2-1 to Canada. Enough is enough. Mexico as a whole, I think, need more talent to come in. They need a better goalkeeper. Ochoa, I love Ochoa. He came from America. America, my boyhood club. I love them. It's the first club that I truly love. It's the team that got me into sports, that showed me what it feels like to really back a team, to really love a team, to even cry when they get eliminated in the playoffs because you just want your team to win so bad. That's what America taught me, and Ochoa being from America, so, I'm always going to support Ochoa, but it looks like his time is up. It looks like, there needs to be young blood that comes in. So obviously Tata Martino can't help with that right now. He has the players that he has, but overall Mexico's playing very, very boring, bad. Just, it's like watching paint dry sometimes, watching the Mexican national team. They just pass the ball in the bag. You don't really see a lot of movement. The midfielder checks in, just gives it back to the defense. Another midfielder checks in, just gives it back to the defense. No one grabs the ball and, jumps the line, dribbles past the player and puts pressure on the defense. It's just a bunch of passes, meaningless passes. It's just going side to side, maybe a little vertical passes, but for the most part, it's just side to side, a bunch of passes that do nothing. Go for the long ball, try to find Chucky or someone or Corona on the sidelines and hope they do something. Raul Jimenez, he's obviously not in the form that he was before his tragic head injury, but this is where a good coach comes out. This is where a good coach brings out, the best out of his players, finds a formation that yields the best results, and Tata Martino is just not doing that. The defense still looks terrible. They look at a source, a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of disorganized football, and there's some players that just need to be held more accountable. Maybe Herrera, he's had a great career. He's had some moments with Mexico, but he's not really performing either. But overall, I don't believe in Tata Martino. 3 straight losses to the U.S. in official games. They lost the Gold Cup final. They lost the Nations League. They lost the World Cup qualifier in the U.S. It's not looking good for Tata Martino, but it looks like he's going to stay. I haven't heard anything that he's out. We don't have World Cup qualifiers for another 3 months, I believe. So this might pass over by that time. We get to the next World Cup qualifiers. We'll see how they come. But it's looking bad for him, man. Mexico, after those 2 losses to Canada and the U.S., are now 3rd in the Concacaf World Cup qualifier. They're tied in points with Panama, and they're only ahead of them because of goal differential. And if you guys don't know, for the Concacaf World Cup qualifiers, only the top 3 teams make it directly to the World Cup finals, and the other team, the 4th place team, goes into a playoff spot, and anything can happen at that point. Usually Mexico, the times they've gone to the playoffs, they get an easy draw like New Zealand or Australia or something like that. So not to say that they're bad teams, but they don't get like a European powerhouse. I believe that's still the format. I'll have to double check that, but there's no reason Mexico should be going to the playoffs, to the second. Like they should be one of the teams that are in the top 3 going directly. They should be leading the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, and it just doesn't seem like Tata Martino is the man for the job. I'm not seeing progression, and he's been there for a while now. So I think Tata Martino needs to go out. I can't tell you who needs to come in, but that's up to the Mexican Federation to figure out. But it just doesn't look like he's getting it done. Losing to Canada, losing to the U.S. Nothing to take away from the U.S. U.S. has definitely made some strides in these last few years in this World Cup qualifier, this World Cup cycle. Canada for sure has probably the best generation that they ever had, with Davis, with other players playing in important teams in France, in Turkey. There's just players all over the place for Canada, so I want to give Canada some props. Obviously, want to give the U.S. props, but it just looks like Mexico is like in a slum. They're kind of at a crossroads right now. They don't know what direction they're going. Like, do they still want to hold on to those old players like Herrera, Ochoa, Guardado, and all those 30-year-old Raul Jimenez and or do they want to bring in that new blood and really like push towards that next generation? They're kind of in this limbo where they don't know what they're doing. They don't know if they're still pushing that old, supposed to be golden generation, or if the young players are ready to come in and, you know, take the mantle and tell the old guys that, you know, they had their chance and they missed out on it. But someone needs to come in and fix this and straighten things out. Like, are we still all in on the old generation? Which I think it's past their prime. They're not gonna do it. They had their chance. It's done. We need younger blood, in my opinion. But overall, Tata Martino should not continue to be the coach for Mexico.